What up? It's Bodhi from iHeartRadio. We are out on the Godsmack New Year's Day tour right now. Sully from Godsmack is hanging out. What up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us again, man.
Of course. It's always my pleasure.
You guys just this week got your third #1 single in a row from the same album with Under Your Scars. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Somebody was telling me, too, that this is the first... I found this really hard to believe. This is the first time in Godsmack's career that that's ever happened, that 3 in a row from the same album. Is that true?
Well, yeah. It's not like it's a pretty rare thing to happen for any band, I think.
Well, but to me, it's long overdue. That's the problem. I'm a hardcore fan of you guys, and
Today,
I just found that hard to believe.
To try to even get 3 singles out on a record is pretty difficult, let alone have them all go #1. So... We're very, very blessed and thankful right now for that, but definitely not an easy feat.
Now, the last time I talked to you was about 1.5 years ago when the album first came out, and you were wondering how the crowd was going to take to some of the new textures that you had on the album. Yeah. In that time, what have you seen? Because personally, I've seen a new audience showing up for the show. Not completely. There's still the core audience like myself, but then there's also a new fan base that's showing up as well. Are you seeing the same thing from the stage?
Yeah, the thing that we've definitely seen is a lot of new faces, a lot more women. That's
a good thing.
We like that. Just keep coming. Even much younger kids. There's like a whole new generation kind of growing up, and they're learning about Godsmack now through their parents, because the same 25-year-old fans that we had back in '98 are now in their 40s and 50s and have a 15, 18-year-old kid of their own. So it's kind of cool to see the next generation coming up. But we're seeing them as young as 3, 4 years old out there with their parents. And it's really nice. It's kind of, the record is really creating the exact thing we were hoping to, which was expansion.
Now, I'm sure that at the same time with that expansion, you guys obviously, you don't want to write the same song over and over again. You want to experiment. You want to expand your horizons and everything. I'm sure for one reason, just to keep your freaking sanity, and at the same time, you keep everything fresh, because a lot of the album still sounds like core Godsmack, and at the same time, you're bringing in this new fan base with a different sonic texture and everything. Who do you test drive these songs with first? Is it just the 4 of you guys? If the 4 of you are happy with a song, is that just the way it's going to lay, or is there somebody's opinion that you value that you'll play a track for and say, just give me your opinion on this? What do you think?
Yeah, it's always kind of us 4 that make that final decision, and especially me. I have to represent it. The guys could be in love with the song, but if I hate it, it's not going to go on the record, and it has nothing to do with control or ego. It's just that as the frontman, as the singer, as the lyricist, I have to be able to be connected to it somehow in order to represent it live. And so there's definitely already songs in the catalog that those guys are like, let's play this, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing it. But yeah, for sure, my daughter is someone I constantly lean on when I have new stuff, and I run things by her because she has a very broad musical, taste, and she actually has turned me on to a lot of new music over the years. So I really trust her opinion, and she kind of knows. She's not even really so much a rock girl, but yet she just knows good melodies, good hooks, and she'll kind of tell me if it's good or it's not good. And I played her Bulletproof when I first finished it, and she looked over at me and she's like, "Dad, that might be the best song I've ever heard you write in your life."
Nice.
And so
nice.
I knew if I could get the people in her age bracket at the time she was 16 years old, I'm thinking that's the new world for Godsmack. That's the next chapter in our career.
It helps to get an outside perspective from somebody who isn't necessarily a hardcore rock fan
Yep.
or an active rock fan, because then you get a fresh set of ears, man.
Yep.
And if it catches them,
Yep.
you're on to something.
Yeah.
At
And
that
her
point.
mom too. Her mom is really, really good with music, and I bounce things off her as well, because they just I don't know, they just have a good knack for hearing something and kind of knowing it's gonna go before it goes. So there's a few people in my group like that I'll bounce stuff off of. But I kind of know in my gut too. I have an instinct that I kind of know it feels right, it feels new, it feels fresh, it's catchy, it's melodic. But let me bounce it off some people anyways.
Right.
Just to check myself.
Sully from Godsmack is hanging out with us on iHeartRadio. Now, something else that just came out, you provide a secondary vocal track on the new Saint Asonia song called The Hunted.
Oh, yeah, The Hunted.
Yeah. Now, you've known Mike for a long time because he goes back to Stain, just in case.
Correct.
Did Mike and Adam from Saint Asonia reach out to you? What's the story behind that track?
Adam wasn't even in the band, I don't think, when me and Mike wrote that song. We wrote it a while back, and we wrote it for the Hansel and Gretel movie. And then I think for whatever reason it got submitted, but maybe it didn't make the movie. And then I guess Mike shelved it and then revisited it on this record, and the band liked it. And so they asked me to kind of sing on it. And so I was touring in Europe at the time, but I went into a studio and I cut the track. But when I re-listened to it, I didn't really love it again. So I started rewriting the lyrics and the melodies. And then I guess Adam got a hold of it, and then he went and tweaked some of the verse himself. So it became a real collaboration between me, Adam, and Mike. But the song originally was written years ago between me and Mike.
Were you in the studio with them, or did you record the track yourself and then send it to them?
I was the first time with Mike, but then when I revisited it, I was touring in Europe with Godsmack, so they had set up a studio somewhere in Germany, I think it was, and on my day off, I went in and recut the vocal.
Nice. Now, coming up sometime in August, if memory serves me right, you're taking part in a boxing event that part of the proceeds are going to the Scars Foundation.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little more about this boxing event? What are you going to be doing at this event? When and where is it?
So the boxing event is being run by a guy named Peter Simbor. He's a new young promoter that's really making a name for himself. It's a pro boxing event, so it's definitely registered with the USA Boxing and all that. It's going to be in Nashua, New Hampshire on August 16th. It's to benefit the Scars Foundation. And actually, there's a pro boxing trainer named Joe Janik, they call him Haas, who has the WBA super featherweight champion of the world right now.
Nice.
And they thought, he won. They took the title away from the current champion, and they thought it was kind of a fluke, this guy, and so they set up another fight, and I guess Freddie Roach brought his fighter in, and Joe's fighter knocked Freddie's fighter out in 3 rounds. And so now they're going like, okay, this guy's the real deal. Yeah. And so he's making a real name for himself. And he has a fighter coming in, making his pro debut that night. So I'm going to actually work the corner with Joe and his whole camp.
Oh, right on.
And that's going to be fun because it's my first time, working the corner. But, so we're just going to be, trying to continue to help raise money for the Scars Foundation because obviously, it's something that we're spending a lot of time on. It means a lot to us.
There's a raffle going on that night too, right? You guys are
there's
giving
probably
away
a
some
bunch of
sports
stuff.
memorabilia.
Yeah.
Well, Sully is a huge boxing fan, in case you didn't know. So he is not going to be part of an event that is going to suck. This thing is going to freaking crush it. August 16th?
August 16th.
In New Hampshire.
It's New Hampshire. Yeah, it's in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to Godsmack's website, you can see all the details, where it's at, the address, and all that stuff.
Okay.
What time
Okay,
it
cool.
starts.
Now, if you guys follow Godsmack along on their Instagram page, these guys have been having so much fun on this tour. Like I said a little bit ago, when I first talked to him about this album 18 months ago, relatively speaking, they were telling me that they're having a good time dancing prior to the shows starting and everything. And man, these guys can bust a move, cut a rug back there. You guys look like you're having
we think so. May not be good, but it's
but
total
bottom line
transparency.
is, yes, you're having fun and you're letting the fans backstage to see, all of this happening, and you're giving access that we haven't seen from you guys before.
Yeah.
And it's
everybody
appreciated.
has a pretty good personality, and we get along really well. And then before the show, we always just kind of just start getting in the zone, and things just happen. None of it's ever staged or scripted out. You know what I mean? It's just things that literally happen. And Paris is always there following us around with a camera, so she actually gets some pretty embarrassing moments. But when we see them later, and she edits them and she sends them back for us to take a look at, they're just kind of funny. So we put them out there because we don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's You're in a rock band. I'm in the rock radio industry. This is what we do. We like to have freaking fun, man. We don't like taking life so seriously all the freaking time.
I'm over those days. I'm done with drama. I'm done with all that crap and negative people and whatever. I just live life every day to have fun, and that's what we're here to do, is entertain, And if we were able to entertain you guys for 30 seconds or for 3 hours, then we've done our job.
Godsmack is going to be out on tour with Hailstorm this fall. Tickets are on sale for those shows. RJ is a badass drummer in his own right. I got to thinking, how sick would it be to all of this? Yes, to have the triple threat drums out on stage at once.
Yeah, we talked about it. As long as he doesn't bring out the big goofy drumsticks, I'm good. It's a little bit of a circus sideshow at that point.
Now, do you think, logistically, is there enough room on the stage to fit 3 full drum kits, or what you guys?
It's not about the stage room. It's about how many inputs we have to make sure everything's mic'd up.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see this tour. I mean, it just sounds like you guys are having an absolute blast with this album cycle, and you've had a lot of great bands out with you. I mean, you're out with New Year's Day right now. How have they been with you guys?
They're like little mice. We don't even hear a peep out of them. I forget they're even on the tour sometimes. They're so quiet.
Really?
So I went busting in their room the other day and just said hi to everyone and made sure everything was good and if they needed anything. And they're great. They're super nice people. And Ash is really sweetheart. And yeah, they've been very, very easy. Yeah, good band.
I can't wait to see these guys absolutely crush it again. Godsmack is one of my favorite bands. No BS, you guys. This is my 3rd time on this album cycle seeing this band. I can't get enough of them. Is there...
He's geeking out right now.
Yeah, totally. I'm fanboying out like crazy. Is there more touring in the new year? Are you guys going to chill and you know?
We know right now this tour is set to go at least until summer of 2020.
Oh, okay, so
what happens after that, we don't know right now.
Okay, so you could end up doing more of the festivals next year then.
I don't know. I know that we're planning on a major A-market headlining tour in the summer of 2020. I don't know who we're bringing yet. We're still working that out, but it's happening, so it's yet to be seen.
Sully from Godsmack, thanks for the time, brother. I really appreciate it again, man. They're out with New Year's Day right now. They got a full tour with Hailstorm booked. Tickets are on sale for both of these tours. Go see these guys. They will destroy it every single night.
He said it, not me.